What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another unboxing video brought to you by Kaiju's Unboxing Reviews. If you guys like the channel, hit that subscribe button, give the video a like, share with anybody you think would like the content of this channel. Also, hit that bell notification so you're notified right away when videos drop like this one. Yeah, we are back for another unboxing and review, but we are kind of going back. I've done a few of these before, and I want to keep doing them, just doing reviews of about figures that I've had for a very long time now, and I got previously before even making the channel. And this is kind of another throwback to a figure that I got, and I believe it was released in 2018. So it's been a minute since it's been out and everything like that. So trying to get caught up on those things, along with getting new releases and stuff like that. Obviously want to do all that stuff, but I do want to go back and showcase these other figures that I got, years ago and everything. And I have so many to go over. It's crazy, but now is the time, because right now I have nothing coming in. Well, that's not true, honestly. Just nothing here yet. I just have some things in the works that'll be coming later and everything like that. And I actually got something coming in pretty soon here, I think next week, and it's a new release. So can't wait to see that and everything. So, but yeah, we're going to kind of dive back into a set that was, like I said, released in 2018. And I'm excited to kind of show you guys and talk about it and everything like that, because I do think that it's underappreciated and just kind of forgotten about, sometimes and everything. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's get right into the video and let's look at these figures. All right, guys, and here's the box for the figure we're going to be talking about today. Um, this is going to be the X plus 25 centimeter or large monster series Frankenstein with Baragon. And, this is the box, like I said, I always like to showcase the box, so everybody can kind of see what they look like. So nothing really going on here. Your typical standard black and white print on the box and stuff like that, with Japanese writing about the large monster series, Frankenstein versus Baragon, and it's a Shonen RIC exclusive. That's very important, actually, because this doesn't have the sticker that we're used to and everything like that, with the yellow sticker with the writing, and it says that it's a RIC exclusive. But don't get it wrong, this is a RIC exclusive. It was only released on the RIC site for a limited time, and after that it was done. Each monster kind of got its own release and everything. Baragon was first years prior, and then they were able to finally release Frankenstein. I believe they did a solo release of just Frankenstein, and then they did the RIC exclusive. So the RIC exclusive, you get both Frankenstein and Baragon together. So that's why it's so special and everything like that. So, and there's other accessories that come with Frankenstein that I believe you could only get within this set. So, but yeah, like I said, not much to go over here with the box. Pretty standard kind of thing. Just a silhouette kind of look for Frankenstein, which is great because I think he's the main focus of this set and everything like that. So, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's get into these figures and let's talk about them. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about Baragon first, just because, like I said, he's been already released in the Large Monster series, 25 centimeter. And so, he's already been out for a little bit and everything. It's his co-star of the movie that's really the main focus, in my opinion, honestly. But I didn't have this before ever getting this set. Actually, it's funny because I was actually on the lookouts for this Baragon. And this, before I even got this set, this Baragon was actually asking for a high price in the aftermarket. It was already long gone, already released and stuff like that. So I wasn't into X Plus before this ever came out. So I kind of had to find on that secondary market, other people selling. And, it was just crazy because this guy became a hot commodity and just very rare. So yeah, I didn't get on board soon enough and everything like that. So you know, I had to play the catch-up game, you know, and that's fine. That's kind of, a lot of us have to do that and everything like this for a company that's kind of been going on for as long as what X Plus has been doing and stuff. So but yeah, like I said, this was super rare, super pricey, so I just never got it. And when I saw that they were going to do this set with the two, I was ecstatic. I really was. That way I didn't have to spend this crazy amount of money on just this solo figure, and I could get both of these figures for basically what I would have um, had to pay for just him alone, and actually probably even double that, honestly, if I'm being honest here. Like I said, I don't kid you when I said this guy was asking for a high price and everything like that. So but yeah, it's super great. I love when he's on all fours. I see Baragon more on just the all fours, the quadruped kaiju and stuff like that. I didn't ever like when they made Baragon, you know, upright standing on the two legs, especially with like the promotion pictures and posters and all that art, kind of like from Destroy All Monsters, where they always had him standing up, and I just never understood that, honestly. Now, mind you, in the film, he does stand up, you know, to rear up and attack Frankenstein and stuff like that, and that's fine, but it's not like he's always standing on two legs walking around. You know, he's a monster that burrows underground and everything like that, and that's just kind of how I see him, and that's how I want to see him, and that's how it's portrayed to me in my mind, and what I really resonate to and stuff like that for Baragon as a kaiju. So, um, so yeah, I love this and everything like that. The sculpt is phenomenal. I loved how he looked. He was so screen accurate. I love the ears back and everything. You know, in the film, if you haven't seen it, his ears were very animated. Either they were floppy and stuff like that, or, you know, they would come up forward, you know, in his dominance, like roaring position and stuff like that, that he was kind of known for and stuff. But yeah, it's just absolutely insane. They did such a great job on this sculpt overall. I'm not the biggest Baragon fan, you know, and everything, but man, in this film, I mean, he knocked out of the park. This was his film also with Frankenstein and everything. Like, this was his breakout like performance, obviously, and I'm glad that they put something like him in the film against Frankenstein, because you know, I don't think they could have gone crazy with a foe for Frankenstein, but this was kind of just perfect, honestly. And it just fits so well, and he did, and it was such a great job. And obviously, the master suit performer himself, Haru Nakajima, was in the suit, so of course the performance was top notch, and I just absolutely loved it. And it's such a interesting character, and he has such interesting history for him and his suit, because this was basically the blueprint of a lot of the Ultraman kaiju and stuff like that. Because after this film, you know, they took that suit, you know, and basically chopped it up and made a whole bunch of other kaiju and stuff like that. You know, he is promoted in being in Destroy All Monsters, and honestly, what I have read is that he was supposed to be, but because the suit got wrecked or ruined or just chopped up, you know, and stuff like that, and used for other purposes for the Ultraman series, that they didn't go ahead and actually do it. If you actually know the scene in Destroy All Monsters where Gorosaurus actually comes out of the ground in Paris, that was supposed to be Baragon, honestly. And that really sucks. That would have been nice to kind of see him have another showcasing moment in a film and stuff like that. Yeah, it wouldn't have been the whole film, but like, you know, it would have been a really cool thing for Baragon. Or the opposite end of the spectrum, you know, instead of Baragon getting all that love and Destroy All Monsters, it was shifted to Gorosaurus, and so Gorosaurus got to have some spotlight and everything like that. You know, and obviously the previous year with King Kong Escapes, you know, Gorosaurus got, you know, a great deal of screen time, you know, fighting against King Kong and everything like that, and that was kind of his shining moment also. But yeah, Gorosaurus got to come back and actually be one of the main characters in Kaiju that was able to fight King Ghidorah and stuff like that in Destroy Monsters, and got some cool moments and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just crazy how this kind of one suit kind of invigorated a lot of Ultra Kaiju and stuff like that, and gave them a lot of ideas and everything. And just like I said, the blueprint and the format for a lot of the quadruped Kaiju, in the earlier series of Ultraman 1966. So it kind of says that like Baragon was very influential for a lot of the Kaiju and stuff like that going forward. So I mean, hats off to him, because I mean, if it wasn't for this design and his look, we wouldn't have a lot of those. So that's pretty special, I think, in its own way. So, but yeah, so that's what this figure is and everything like that. So let's get to showing, I think, the main reason for you to get this set is Frankenstein. All right, and here he is. Like I said, the kind of the man of the hour, the reason why you want to get this set is because of Frankenstein. Um, Now, before this, there was literally nothing that was a representation of Frankenstein in toy form, I guess. I think maybe the only thing would have been, now that I think about it, would have been the Sofubi by Marmot and M1. But as a realistic looking figure, this was kind of the first, honestly. I I know, and I've read, and I've heard stories of why that is, and it's just because the family did not give away the rights for the actor's likeness, because unfortunately the actor passed away several years ago, way before this figure ever came out. So the family never wanted to give anybody the rights to have a likeness of this particular actor and stuff like that. And if my understanding is correct, I don't believe the actor is Koji Fuyuhara. Sorry if I butcher that on everything. So I'm pretty sure he wasn't a fan of his portrayal of Frankenstein, or how it looked, or how the movie was, and everything like that. As far as I know of, I don't know if he did any other acting other than this film and stuff like that. So, with obviously his wish, the family never gave the okay to use his likeness and stuff like that. So, and it's understandable, and it happens all the time, honestly. So he's not like the only one that's ever done this or said this and stuff like that. So, it just kind of happens with a lot of toy makers, businesses, where if they try to make something like somebody who portrayed a character, they do have to give the rights from that person to actually produce that product. So a lot of times, a lot of the toy makers will make it very similar, but they won't either show the face, or the face is very generic, so it doesn't look very similar to the actual actor. Otherwise, they do have to get the okay from them to do it. This figure is just exceptionally well done. The sculpt is great. Everything about him just looked amazing, and they really kind of got the face, as in like he was a kaiju, but like a humanoid kaiju, but he also was like sad, like they portrayed him as like not this fierce monster and everything like that, that kind of everybody can relate to Frankenstein. They made him like a sadder version, that, maybe he didn't know what was going on, or, it wasn't his fault for being created, or, he didn't know how to act, or because he wasn't normal, he wasn't a normal human and stuff like that. He was radiated by nuclear radiation, and stuff like that, so maybe his thinking wasn't the same and stuff like that, so he just didn't understand a lot of things, and people looked at him funny, and were scared of him because he was different. So I just think like the sculpt and the face and the eyes, like, yeah, he's terrifying, but like also like it's a sad terrifying. He's just trying to survive and live, kind of thing. So I think they did a very good job portraying that in the figure. Let's get a good close up of his eyes and everything like that. Everything, like I said, about the sculpt is just phenomenal. Even the details with the veins in the neck, were a big thing because they were just extruding from his neck, just crazy and stuff. And then just, the overall look on like his arms and everything, and his pelts that he used for his clothes and stuff is just well done, um, in my opinion and stuff. So just overall, the sculpt is very, very well done. Honestly, did a lot of justice to, I think, the actor, just because I thought this portrayed him as a very well done piece, honestly, and I think he would have been happy with how it turned out, how it looked, honestly, because I don't think this does anything about his memory and everything like that. I think this just kind of solidifies him as a very important role in Toho, and his take on Frankenstein's monster and stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. And like I said, the Frankenstein's take is different for every culture, stuff like that. It's a very well known story that a lot of people talk about, and Toho's version of Frankenstein was obviously different. They went more of the feral, like animal looking Frankenstein than your typical just a sewed up monster of different body parts and stuff like that. Like they just went differently. And like I stated, just earlier, that he was radiated with radiation, so that made him bigger, and grow into a crazy giant size, that really stands out from any other Frankenstein iteration, honestly. But that was kind of their forte, right? Like that was their Toho's thing, where they wanted to make it bigger and fight, other monsters and everything like that. Originally they wanted to have Frankenstein versus Godzilla. That was one of their pitches. But obviously that did not go through and everything. They did another pitch that didn't go through either. So actually, this is the third pitch that they presented to have the likeness of Frankenstein used in a film, and they finally got the green light. So, this is kind of the way that it happened and stuff. But I really, really do dig it. It's a very different take on Frankenstein. But I understand it, and coming from Toho, it makes a lot of sense, honestly, and stuff. So, but yeah, with this figure, there's a lot of different things kind of going on with him, with accessories and things you can do with him and stuff like that. Obviously, you can see he is on a base. Unfortunately, because his feet are so skinny and stuff like that, he doesn't balance the best, and stuff like that. So, I recommend using the stand with the kind of clutcher around the waist and everything. Otherwise, he will make a tumble. So he's not the sturdiest and stuff like that. But it's not too crazy. It's not too much of an eyesore. I get it. I understand it. Just for humanoid figures, there's not a lot of base for them to stand on, besides their feet. And their feet are pretty narrow and stuff like that. So it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's how I've always displayed him and stuff. So, but yeah, some of the accessories you can do are really, really different and cool. Actually, his shoulder piece does come off, the pelt that goes over his shoulder. And this is how you can actually swap out the arms. Like I stated earlier, that this was the RIC exclusive, and this is kind of what the RIC exclusive was, where they actually gave you swappable arms for Frankenstein. So this is kind of a more laid back kind of arms on his sides kind of thing. Then he had a different pose that resembled a part in the movie, and I'll show that right now. This is the alternate arms, is where he's kind of holding something. And in the film, there was a moment where actually, when Frankenstein was fighting Baragon, a couple of the humans that kind of looked after him and everything like that, kind of got in the crossfires with Baragon and Frankenstein and stuff like that. And actually, one of the doctors, Dr. Kawaji, actually was hurt on the mountainside and everything like that. And actually, Frankenstein picked him up, took him to safety. And then this is the pose where he's actually holding him in his hands. And actually, in this set, they actually have a little Dr. Kawaji sculpted and everything like that. So you can actually put him in the hands like so. And so he's like holding him, bringing him to safety to the other characters, which were Kumi Mizuno and Nick Adams, who starred in the movie also. So yeah, so he brought him, he was sad about it and everything, and kind of laid him down for him to be rescued and stuff. So just a really cool moment, in the film that they wanted to present in this figure and stuff like that. So very, very different, very, very neat and everything. And like I said, it just shows that Frankenstein was just trying to survive. He wasn't mean or a nuisance or a terror. He was just a good, not human, but he had a soul and everything, and he cared about people and everything, especially the people that kind of helped raise him and stuff like that and nurture him. Um, so yeah, so really, really cool. That's kind of part of the RIC feature and stuff. So also another feature of this particular figure is that you can actually adjust his eyeballs. You can actually move them around so he can be looking elsewhere. I think it's cool to do that, but with his eyes being so small and the figure just being on the smaller side, you don't really notice it if he's looking left, right, up, or down. And honestly, you don't really see that. Honestly, I just looked at this guy close up for the first time in a very long time, and I guess one of his eyes was like darted this way, with the other one looking forward. And so yeah, and I didn't even notice that, honestly, because they're so small. But I think with bigger figures and stuff like that, it would have been really cool to see that, maybe like on a gigantic figure, to really adjust the eyes to make him look at a certain position and stuff like that would be really, really cool. But I'll show you the eyes and how to move them. Ah! uh, yeah, so his face just comes right off. Oh gosh. And then in the actual head, there's two little pegs. You see those? And those are connected to his eyes. And actually you move those up, down, left, right, and you position his eyes for whatever way that you want, honestly. Um, right now his eyes are just looking forward and everything. Let's see if I can move them. And now his eyes are moving to the looking at the side and everything. So that's kind of cool. Or you can do something really crazy and have his eyes all funky and looking weird up and down, whatever kind of kooky kind of thing. So that's really cool. Like I said, it's a cool feature to have and everything, but it's hard to see the eyes, so it standing out as you would think it would be, but a cool concept nonetheless. And you just pop his head right back in and he's all good to go. So, um, but yeah, that's kind of what the RIC features are and everything overall. All right, yeah. So here we have the set complete and everything like that. Like I said, I think it's a great set. It helped me not have to spend crazy amount of money on Baragon, and it helped me get one of the first representations of a likeness of Frankenstein from Toho's Frankenstein Conquers the World or Frankenstein versus Baragon. Whatever kind of title you want to use, it's your prerogative. But yeah, I love this film. It is a very fun film and like I said, a different take on Frankenstein that we haven't seen before, honestly. Um, it is probably in my top 3 favorite non-Toho Godzilla properties that they have done. It's just a fun, like I said, movie. They didn't have to do a lot of special effects on this movie, so they got to spend a lot more of their money like on the sets and everything, which it really showed because some of the sets were very foresty and a lot of landscaping and stuff like that, and it just looked phenomenal. It really, really did. And the fight scene with Baragon and Frankenstein were really great and stuff like that, but also show like a tragic story for Frankenstein that he had no idea where he was, what he was doing. He was found, he was trying to be nurtured and taken care of, by scientists and everything like that. And they just didn't know how to take care of him, honestly, until he kind of grew too big to be contained and stuff like that. And everybody was scared of him because of how he looked and everything. And so people feared him, and stuff. And overall, he really wasn't a bad creature per se, because I mean he even saved Dr. Kawaji's life, and stuff like that, and made sure no humans got hurt, when Baragon came around and stuff like that. So yeah, I definitely suggest this set overall. And if you haven't seen the movie, watch the movie. It is a great movie. You will not be disappointed. Um, I know a lot of people's favorite non-Godzilla Toho flick, honestly, and stuff like that. And honestly, this birthed, the movie War of the Gargantuas and those characters as a whole, because per the Japanese version is that actually they are offspring, not offspring, but offshoots of Frankenstein, because his cells can never die. And so, you know, this area, this fight with Baragon took place in Mount Fuji and stuff like that. And coincidentally, Sanda, if you have seen War of the Gargantua, Sanda came from Mount Fuji, and that's where he was living and stuff like that. So his, flesh was ripped off, scraped off, whatever, by Baragon, and it just kind of mutated and grew, and Frankenstein-like monster, honestly. And then in the Frankenstein Conquers the World, the film doesn't end with Frankenstein killing Baragon. Actually, there is a alternate ending version where Frankenstein actually fights a giant octopus. Now, that was because of the American partnership, Henry G. Saperstein, that he had seen King Kong versus Godzilla 1962, and he saw the giant octopus scene when he fights Kong and stuff like that, and he wanted that in the film. So they actually made that alternate ending. It was never intended to be released with the movie or any release of the movie, but I guess that version was actually accidentally released, and now it's kind of a thing where, if you get to see that alternate ending, it's pretty special, honestly. And so with that alternate ending, like I said, Frankenstein kills Baragon, he finishes him off, but then the giant octopus comes on shore, is coming to shore. Frankenstein sees him and goes and confronts him and stuff like that. And ultimately, Frankenstein gets dragged into the water and dies and drowns and stuff like that. So in relation to the War of the Gargantuas, that's how Gyra was made, because he was dragged into the sea. His flesh probably came off for him trying to fight off the giant octopus, and just from there it just mutated and grew, and that's where Gyra came from. So, per the Japanese versions of War of the Gargantuas, they are offshoots of Frankenstein, but with American versions, they just completely renamed them to Brown Gargantua and Green Gargantua, so they didn't refer to them as Frankenstein offshoots and everything, which whatever, it is what it is, but it's just kind of cool that they did that, and I really do like that scene. It's very different. I never knew that it happened or existed for the longest time until I got the Tokyo Shock release and some of that was released here in the US, and it actually gave us both endings and stuff like that, and that's kind of like the first way I actually knew about the actual alternate ending and stuff. So really, really cool. So if you guys check that out, maybe you could find it on YouTube, that, or try to find the copy of Tokyo Shock, and stuff, and they will have both versions on there and stuff. So pretty cool. So but yeah, I think that's it for me. Enough rambling. Just kind of want to showcase an oldie but a goodie, honestly, and I think, like I said, just doesn't get enough love or talked about, for this set and this movie in general. I think it's just such a great movie. My favorite non-Godzilla Toho film is War of the Gargantuas, and like I said, this is probably up there number 2 or number 3, honestly, because it is a fun film. It really is, and it's a great story, great actors and actresses in it. I mean, some big alumni for Toho, and then of course Nick Adams. I mean, such a great guy, a fun actor and stuff like that to watch. These figures are great and everything, and it's just like I said, if you try to find them or can find them, I definitely highly suggest them. They are pretty great to have. So But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. A reminder, once we hit 800 subscribers, I'm doing my next giveaway. A little thank you from me to you for all the support and stuff like that. So let's get there. We are almost there. I mean, we are crushing how fast we hit our last goal with this new one. So, once we get there, I'll do my giveaway, and one lucky winner will win that prize package and everything like that. So, thank you all for the support and continued support, and let's just keep her going, stuff. But yeah, follow me on all my socials, and also you can follow me at Monsters with Attitude. I am a co-host on there, and we talk all things kaiju and tokusatsu, have interviews with toy makers and artists, and a lot of other great things to come. So definitely tune into that. We talk about different movies and topics, for monthly stream and stuff like that. We do unboxing videos, with other co-hosts of the show and everything like that. So yeah, so if you are interested, please go give us a follow over there, and just stay connected with us, because we have so much great content over there also. And of course, follow here too. Like, comment, and subscribe. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, later.